Okay, so welcome everybody to today's conference lesson. My name is Alastair. I will be presenting today's conference lesson, which is called English for Meetings, Essential Expressions. Okay, so today is going to be all about business English, specifically language related to meetings. Let's have a look at the conference agenda. So number 1, English for Meetings Explained. Number 2, Greetings and Introductions. Number 3, Discussing Topics. Number 4, Answering Questions and Closing a Meeting. All very practical language today. So please have a pen and notebook ready so you can make notes and review the expressions later on. Of course, you can also take screenshots during the lesson if you wish, but let's continue. Here we go. So let's think about English for meetings. Without business meetings, companies risk alienating their co-workers from one another and their supervisors. A disconnection that only poorly impacts the organization's output. So I shall read that again. Without business meetings, companies risk alienating their co-workers from one another and their supervisors. A disconnection that only poorly impacts the organization's output. Okay, well, let's continue this theme. However, business meetings can also have a negative impact if they're not run properly. If meetings are run inefficiently, employees may feel that their time is not being respected. This is true. So, however, business meetings can also have a negative impact if they're not run properly. If meetings are run inefficiently, employees may feel that their time is not being respected. Continued, strong communication is always appreciated in the workplace, and learning professional English vocabulary for meetings is a big step in the right direction. Once again, strong communication is always appreciated in the workplace, and learning professional English vocabulary for meetings is a big step in the right direction. Okay, well, let's think about greetings and introductions. Preparing for the meeting. Okay, so preparing for the business meeting. Before every meeting, there's first the email or virtual calendar notification. You'll want to ensure that everyone is engaged from the start. Now, you can use some of the following phrases when preparing for the business meeting. Number 1, I'd like to arrange a meeting to discuss. Number 2, for those who are able, let's meet to go over. And number 3, please mark your calendar for. Okay, so these are very useful phrases in this situation when preparing for the business meeting. Let's read through those 3 again. I'd like to arrange a meeting to discuss. For those who are able, let's meet to go over. And the last one, please mark your calendar for. Okay. How to start a business meeting in English. How to start a business meeting in English? Well, to officially start a business meeting in English, you can simply acknowledge everyone's presence and thank them for their time with some expressions here. I'd like to welcome everyone here. Number 2, I appreciate everyone being here on time. Number 3, since everyone's here, let's get started. Okay, so how to start a business meeting in English. Let's listen to those 3 examples again. I'd like to welcome everyone here. I appreciate everyone being here on time. Since everyone is here, let's get started. Okay, well, let's think about introductions now. So here are a few phases to make introductions. Could everyone just share a brief introduction, please? I'd like to welcome. Let's go around the table and share our names and job titles. Number 4, why don't we do a quick icebreaker to get everyone feeling comfortable? For example, what is your favourite restaurant in the city? Do you have any pets? What is your favourite dish to prepare? Okay, so in some meetings, it is appropriate to do an icebreaker exercise, which is more than just an introduction. It's an introduction and something personal, non-professional for each person to express. It's quite a useful technique. But anyway, let's read through these phrases again. Number 1, could everyone just share a brief introduction, please? Number 2, I'd like to welcome. Number 3, let's go around the table and share our names and job titles. Number 4, why don't we do a quick icebreaker exercise to get everyone feeling comfortable? Please tell me, what is your favourite restaurant in the city? Do you have any pets? What is your favourite dish to prepare? Of course, we don't have to ask all 3, perhaps just one as an example to help break the ice at the start of a meeting with some new participants. Well, let's think about meeting format. So meetings are sometimes held through Zoom or a blended combination of people in a room and others joining remotely. Before the meeting starts, check that everybody can hear and be heard. So meetings are sometimes held through Zoom or another platform like this, or a blended combination of people in a room and others joining remotely. Before the meeting starts, we need to check that everybody can hear and be heard. So here we go. We've got some expressions here that can help us in remote meetings, meetings at distance. Okay, number 1. Sorry, but I can't hear you. Sorry, but I can't see you. Number 2. Can you hear me now? Can you see me now? Number 3. Is that okay now? Is that better now? Number 4. I'm just going to log off and log in again. Number 5. I'm going to switch off my video and see if that helps. I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble hearing you. Number 7. It seems we have lost John. Number 8. Jack's screen has frozen. Number 9. I'll send Jack a chat message. Okay, so we've got some helpful remote meeting expressions here. Sorry, but I can't hear or see you. Can you hear, see me now? Is that okay? Better now? I'm just going to log off and log in again. I'm going to switch off my video and see if that helps. I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble hearing you. It seems we have lost John. Jack's screen has frozen. I'll send Jack a chat message. Well, we've got a little exercise for you guys to participate in if you wish. It's a chat exercise, so you'll need to write your answers in the chat if you wish to participate. So the exercise is called Complete the Text. We want to use these 4 phrases to complete the text at the bottom. So the phrase is, number 1, can you hear me now? Number 2, I'm having trouble hearing you. Number 3, is that better now? Number 4, I'm just going to log off and log in again. Okay, so in the dialogue, the text at the bottom, there are 4 missing sentences. We need to choose the right one, 1, 2, 3, or 4, to connect each one. Okay, so I'm going to read through. Have a listen. Anna. Hi everyone. Can you hear me okay? Mike. Sorry, but your audio is cutting in and out. Anna. Oh no. Let me check my mic settings. Mike. Not really. It's still a bit choppy. Anna. Anna leaves and rejoins the meeting. Anna. Mike. Yes, much better, thanks. Oh, wait. It seems we have lost John. Anna. And Jack's screen has frozen too. I'll send Jack a chat message. Mike. Good idea. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got number 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need to connect them with either A, B, C, or D. I'm not sure if anyone wants to have a go at this. So I'll read through the dialogue text again. Hi everyone, can you hear me okay? Sorry, but your audio is cutting in and out. Oh no, let me check my mic settings. Yes, please send the answers in the chat. Sorry, that's for Helen. That's not the dialogue. Helen's just asked, can we send the answers in the chat? Yes, this is a chat exercise. Wonderful. Okay. So let me get back to the dialogue. Oh no, let me check my mic settings. Not really. It's still a bit choppy. Anna leaves and rejoins the meeting. Anna. Mike. Yes, much better, thanks. Oh, wait, it seems we have lost John, sorry. And Jack's screen has frozen too. I'll send Jack a chat message. Good idea. Okay, well, we've got some answers coming in. Fantastic. Helen, Christelle, and Raymond. Fantastic. Well done. Let's have a look at those answers. But thank you very much for your participation. Here we go. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got A2, B1, C4, and D3. Okay, so yes, well done, Christelle. Fantastic. Okay, so let's have a read through. Hi everyone, can you hear me okay? Sorry, but I'm having trouble hearing you. Your audio is cutting in and out. Oh no, Let me check my mic settings. Can you hear me now? Not really. It's still a bit choppy. I'm just going to log off and log in again. Anna leaves and rejoins the meeting. Is that better now? Yes, much better, thanks. Oop. Yes, much better, thanks. Oh wait, it seems we have lost John. And Jack's screen has frozen too. I'll send Jack a chat message. Good idea. Okay, we've got the bottom just cut off a little bit there, but well done to everybody for taking part in that, and congratulations, Christelle. You got all of those correct. Congratulations to all of you for getting most of those correct as well. But there we go, a little chat exercise to practice with some of these very practical expressions that we can use during remote or meetings at distance. Well, let's think about some topics, discussing topics. So tips for communication. Here is a tip for communicating with British people in meetings. British. Be mindful of indirect communication. British people often use polite, understated language and may avoid direct confrontation. Phrases like, I see what you mean, or that's an interesting point, can sometimes signal disagreement. It's not easy. Pay attention to tone and context. Okay, well, let's think about communicating with American people in meetings. Okay, so just some generalizations here. Here is a tip for communicating with American people in meetings. Be clear and direct. Americans typically value simple communication, especially in professional settings. It's acceptable to share your opinions confidently and ask direct questions like, what do you think about this solution? Okay. Let's think about language during a business meeting. Number one, from my perspective as manager, it seems that... Number two, the way I see things, our best course of action is to... Okay. And opinions. Okay, so we've got two things here, giving opinions and asking for opinions. Okay, number one, I really feel that. Number two, in my opinion. Number three, the way I see things. And then the second part is asking for opinions from the other participants. Do you really think that? And number five, name of participant. Can we get your input? Okay, so Helene's asked me to jump back to here, which I don't mind doing. We'll just cover this one more time for you, Helen, and then we'll rejoin the previous screen. So here is a tip for communicating with British people in meetings. Be mindful of indirect communication. British people often use polite, understated language and may avoid direct confrontation. Phrases like, I see what you mean, or that's an interesting point, can sometimes signal disagreement. Pay attention to tone and context. So the general tip here is that English or British meeting participants might be more indirect than American participants, who are generally renowned for being more direct in a meeting situation. Okay, so we've just shared some ways to give opinions and ways to ask for opinions from other participants. Let's continue. How to give feedback on a colleague's idea or suggestions. Let's have a look at 5 examples here. Number 1, I completely agree. Number 2, that's a great point. Number 3, I have to agree with. Number 4, I'm not sure that. And number 5, that's certainly one option. However, we can also. Okay, so these are nice ways to give feedback on a colleague's idea or suggestion. So number 1, I completely agree. Number 2, that's a great point. Number 3, I have to agree with. Number 4, I'm not sure that. And number 5, that's certainly one option. However, we can also. Okay, so some nice expressions for giving feedback there. Now, sometimes during a meeting, we might need to interrupt. Okay, now we want to be polite when we interrupt. So, use the following phrases to interrupt or join in the conversation. Number 1, sorry, may I have a word? Number 2, if I may, I think. And number 3, excuse me for interrupting. Okay, some nice expressions for interrupting politely. Here we go now with some advice. So, to give advice and suggest things during a meeting in English, let's have a look here. We've got an instruction. Complete one of these expressions in the chat. Oh, it's another chat exercise. These phrases can be used to advise or make a suggestion during a meeting. I'm going to read through the 4 sentence starters, and if you want, you can choose one of them and complete a sentence that makes a suggestion in the chat. So, number 1, we should. Number 2, why don't you? Number 3, how about or what about? And number 4, I suggest that or I recommend that. Okay, so I'd like you guys, if you want to participate, to choose one of the sentence starters and make a suggestion for an imaginary participant in the chat. Okay, so I've got an example I'm going to write in the chat as well. Okay, so we've got an example from Helene. We've got 2 there. Fantastic. So number 1, we should we should schedule the next meeting. That's good. Number 2, why don't you ask for help from the HR team? So from the HR team. Okay, I also gave a little example. How about we come back to that next week? Raymond's given us a suggestion too. I suggest that we talk about this problem at the end of the meeting. Okay, that's not a bad sentence there as well. So very good, guys. Well done. Some great examples there. So thank you very much once again for your participation. But we're going to continue. Here we go. Clarifying. Okay, sometimes it's important to clarify what you've said. That might mean that you need to rephrase your point in other words. Statement. Have I made that clear? Okay. Do you understand? Have I made that clear? So sometimes it's important to clarify what you've said. That might mean that you need to rephrase your point in other words. Okay, so clarifying continued. Asking for repetition if you don't understand what's being said. Examples. Number 1, I didn't catch that. Could you repeat that, please? Number 2, I missed that. Could you say it again, please? Okay, asking for clarification if you'd like to check on some of the details. Number 3, I'm afraid I don't understand what you are getting at. And number 4, could you explain to me how that is going to work? Good. Phrases and expressions to help clarify in a meeting, to ask for repetition and to ask for clarification. Okay, well, let's move on to the last part here, answering questions and closing a meeting. So let's just have a quick vocabulary stop and look at some key vocabulary words. Number 1, chairperson, a person who leads a meeting. Number 2, remotely, from distance. I work remotely or at distance. Number 3, customary or usual. Number 4, swiftly, quickly or immediately. Number 5, clarify, to make something clear or easier to understand by giving more details or a simpler explanation. And sometimes you need questions. So for people who interrupt or bring up distracting or irrelevant information. Okay, so sometimes in a meeting, people bring up or distracting or irrelevant information, and we need to get back on topic. So number 1, returning to our agenda item. Number 2, we should stay on subject. Number 3, let's wait and talk about that topic another time. Now, if you want to politely ensure that everyone said what they needed to say, here are some useful expressions and phrases. Number 1, is there anything else anyone would like to share? Number 2, does anyone have any follow-up points? Number 3, before we move on, are there any further questions? And then closing a business meeting. All good things must come to an end, including productive meetings. Here are some good expressions to help close a business meeting. Number 1, to summarize, we've discussed. Number 2, I'm going to briefly cover the topics we've reviewed today. Number 3, before we finish, let's recap our main points. Number 4, in a nutshell, we've spoken about. And number 5, here are the 3 main takeaways from our meeting. Okay. Closing a business meeting continued. So to fully end a meeting, you can keep it simple, thanking everyone for their time and leaving the door open for further communication if necessary. With expressions such as, number 1, if there's nothing more to discuss, I think we can finish it up here. Number 2, that seems to cover everything for today. Number 3, since we finished our agenda items, everyone is free to go. Number 4, thank you for being so productive. And lastly, number 5, please don't hesitate in contacting me if you have any questions. There we go. So well done, everyone. This is our conclusion for today. The impact of business meetings at your company greatly depends on the kind of words being used in business meetings to present new ideas, share feedback, and politely present proposals. To strengthen your communication as a team, it's critical that everyone feels comfortable speaking in a common tongue. There we are, guys. Very well done. So we've come to the end of our lesson for today. It just remains for me to thank you all for watching. Thanks for participating on behalf of myself and everyone at the Circle of DeLong team. Thank you ever so much for your presence today. But that is it. It is time to say goodbye. Take care, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.